What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back with episode 7 of the Linux Tech and Gaming Podcast. I'm actually really excited to be back this week. I don't know about you guys. Major Linux gaming news. Like, woo, crazy news. Borderlands 2, baby. I don't know. I'm sure we'll touch on that topic, even though it's not on our official topics list. But welcome back, everybody. Hopefully, everybody has had a good weekend since our last show. And as you can tell, I'm excited for this week's show. We're getting a little bit more familiar with the Linux or the Google Hangout software and all this, and so again, as usual, we have our links down below in the chat or in the description of the video, and I'll pass it off to the Atomic Ass.
I am the Atomic Ass, and I have a YouTube channel where I review games that run on Linux, and I also do Let's Plays on occasion. You can contact me most easily on Twitter, @theAtomicAss.
Alright, I guess this is my turn since our host is doing things.
Sorry, yeah, it's your turn.
I'm Osiris of Osiris Tech. The links are below the video, so you can go click that. The best way to get in contact with me is on Twitter, @Osiris. And I just do whatever I feel like it pops in my head, because I'm ADD like that.
Nice. All right, so, man, why don't we, does one of us have the actual video open? I guess I should ask that.
I can open it.
Well, we got to monitor chat, or the comments.
So, we can do that.
Let's see, live now.
All this technology, and we can't monitor and do a live stream. I'm sure it can be done.
Right. All right. So our first topic that we have for this week's show, we're going to last week we ended up having Atomic report on his does it run on Linux at the end of the show. This week we're going to have Atomic report on his game first. So why don't we just go ahead and jump right into that segment there. Atomic Ass and his series, Does It Run on Linux? Which game are you going to bring to the table today, Atomic?
Today I think I'll bring Beat Hazard. And what Beat Hazard is, it's a twin-stick shooter set to your music. I don't know if I've actually done this one before in my Does It Run on Linux series because I had some recording issues with it. But I've personally logged 68 hours in this game.
Wow.
And
That's a lot of hours.
What's it called again?
Beat Hazard.
Beat Hazard. Do you have any website or anything you wanted to share on the screen to show, maybe the cover art of the game or something like that? I don't know. So, I mean, you said that it kind of goes along with your audio that's playing, but, I mean, what is it? RPG, first-person shooter?
Let's see, is there a video here? Nah, it's all screenshots.
Oh, I thought this was something else.
Beat Hazard. Gameplay powered by your music. So how does it... I just have a question. So how does it know... do you have to have the music in your Steam Music app? Or how does that work?
No, this game has been around a lot longer than the Steam Music app, so it has its own system in there. You tell it you can go and search for your music by folder, or it can automatically select it, and it can index your music so that you can have a two-player match, either co-op or versus, with someone else, assuming they have the same songs.
I'm still trying to get a picture of like what the general, like, are you a spaceship? What are you? Like, what are you? I don't really get.
Yeah, you are a spaceship.
Okay.
You can move around the screen, and you can shoot in any direction. And
what I'm guessing is this is some type of what is they call, what is that called, like Dance Revolution and those type of games where you have to do things by the beat of the music. Is that what this is? Because that's the idea I'm getting.
no, it more follows your music.
Might want to pop up like a YouTube video. I don't really get it.
Yeah.
Well, so how does it run on Linux? I mean, what are the pluses and negatives that you experienced in the 68 hours that you played the game?
The controller support is a little bit off. You can get it configured correctly, and that's one of the strange things about it is it has no controller configuration on Windows, but it does on Linux.
Oh.
Is it a CFG file or something in your home directory, or what? How does that work?
I mean, it might be configurable in that manner on Windows, but in Linux, you can go into the game and actually map the controller in the same way that you can in Steam Big Picture.
Okay. Oh, excellent. And which, just for our viewers, what kind of controller were you using?
I was using an Xbox 360 wireless controller with the wireless receiver.
Okay, and do you use XPad or do you use Xbox DRV?
Xbox DRV.
You do? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I've found that XPad doesn't properly map the wireless receiver.
Okay.
For whatever reason.
Yeah, I'm having problems with XPad and Metro Last Light. The button mappings, it thinks like A button is actually X and the B button is A, and my character just sits there and spins. And everything that I'm finding online is that, I need to remove the XPad module and install the Xbox DRV module with a --mimic--xpad command, and it's like, wait a second, why do I have to remove the XPad module if I'm just telling Xbox driver to mimic XPad? So I've been looking for fix for months now for Metro Last Light with this latest kernel 3.13.0-37. It used to work in Ubuntu 12.04 with an earlier kernel. Metro Last Light worked fine. But as soon as I upgraded to 14.04 and this later kernel, for some reason, even though the controller shows up in Steam Big Picture mode and all the buttons are mapped correctly, no matter what, I go into Metro Last Light and the controller settings are all messed up. It's so dumb. I don't really understand that.
This is probably looking horrible, but this is
not bad.
No, it doesn't look too bad. I mean, it's definitely stuttering, but I mean, this is amazing we're doing a live stream, through Google Hangouts, and for you to be able to, it's streaming the game, to the Google servers and then compressing it more and then streaming it out to the viewers. So this isn't horrible. And so, but the one thing is, we don't hear any sound. So right now, are the people coming to attack you based on the audio that's playing?
Yeah.
Or
Can you
okay,
see
all right.
It reminds me of
Can you see how the tempo changes a little bit?
The what changes? Sorry.
The tempo.
Like of when the attacks come, or what do you mean?
The chips are slowing down and then they're speeding up.
Okay, yeah, I do notice that. Okay, so that's all controlled by the audio. That's pretty cool. Yeah, this reminds me, like Osiris says, this reminds me of what's that? that really old game. What is it called? Asteroid, where you're just a little triangle and you spin around in circles, and you need to shoot the asteroids so you don't get hit by the asteroids. That's like an old fucking classic Atari game. I had that for my Atari 2600.
I think it's called Asteroids.
It is called Asteroids. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you was asking.
Well, I was at first, but then I recalled it, so I was like, yeah, that's definitely called Asteroids. Asteroid or Asteroids with an S, I'm not sure. But man, if you're an older gamer like me, I'm in my mid-30s, and you had an Atari 2600, man, Asteroids was a classic, one of the games that you definitely had.
Atari 2600 Master Race.
Yep, there you go.
I'm from the Genesis generation.
Oh,
you're from the
same age as us.
He must be younger. He's younger than us then.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, because that was like my third console.
Yeah, right. I didn't actually go the Sega route. I went the Nintendo route.
Boo.
I went Nintendo, then Super Nintendo, and then Xbox.
That's because you wasn't cool and edgy. You had to be cool and edgy to get the Sega Genesis.
Oh my gosh, my friend, it was crazy. My friend went through. He actually got like the Atari Jaguar console. Do you remember that one? It had 64-bit gaming.
Yeah,
64-bit. Oh, yeah, I know. Well, I remember, it was such a big deal and how his was so much better than my Super Nintendo, and there was like 2 games for it. So there were just really no developers that ended up creating games for it. I remember. Sure, the graphics looked amazing and cool for their time, but it's just, I don't know. I think it was too far ahead of its time, basically, and it was too expensive.
Yeah. Console market is a hard market.
Yep. So I just want to say welcome to Sean. Sean Wright commented on the stream in the comments. Hello, Sean. Thank you for dropping in. We also had somebody on Twitter say that they would love to comment, but they're disabled. They couldn't comment, so I'm not really sure why they said that. Maybe it was maybe when the stream first started and they just couldn't comment yet, but their comments are not disabled, so I don't know what's up with that.
It's probably a G plus privacy issue. That's usually what the issue is when it comes to YouTube. It's usually a permissions issue.
Freaking Google account. Plus, yeah, piece of crap. All right, so that was shoot, what was it again, Atomic?
Beat Hazard.
Okay, that was Beat Hazard, and that was the game that Atomic decided to play for this week's episode. And was there anything on the negative side that you wanted to point out to other Linux gamers, for that game? Like, how much did it cost? Kind of give us a high-level overview, kind of to round out the...
I believe that I got in one of the Humble bundles, so I didn't pay very much for it. But full price, it's only $9.99, so it's not a bad deal. The bad points, I don't think I got finished with my thought there.
Yeah, sorry, Brett.
The controller can tend to unmap itself.
Oh.
Like I'll just start up the game and the controller no longer works. But it's not that big of an issue because of it being configurable. And I seem to recall having some issue running at full screen in a multi-monitor setup.
Okay.
I just launched it in a window for the screen share just now.
Sure.
Yeah, I've the Xbox controller issue. I've heard several people complain about the mapping issues. Is it a Unity game, by any chance, or you don't know?
Metro Last Light. Oh, sorry.
Beat Hazard, I think, has its own engine, but I could be wrong about that.
It's a which engine?
It's its own.
Oh, okay.
Its own engine.
That's cool. I like the. Yeah, that's cool. I think I like Unity, and if it wasn't for Unity, Unity ushered in like a lot of games in the beginning, so that you could pad the count and say, hey, there's games over here. So other games, that's how I feel about it. It gave them the numbers. It didn't give them the quality. It didn't give Linux the quality. It gave them the numbers. So I like Unity for that. And there's some great games that did come out of Unity, but for the most part, I think people overuse Unity and abuse Unity, and especially when it comes to Linux, because it's just so easy to use. People just make a game like, hey, we got Linux support, so let's see your money.
Right.
But it's like a trash game.
Well, actually, the Unity games that I've played are actually pretty well polished. I'm thinking Thomas Was Alone. Braid, I think, is reasonably polished.
I can't speak on it. I haven't used Unity at all, or I haven't really played any Unity games.
Yeah, most of the games that are indie, like in Greenlight and stuff like that, they're gonna be Unity games. Just because they have an export to Linux button, literally a button that says export to Linux.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
Nice.
If that's not, I mean, that's good.
Hearthstone, Heroes of Warcraft was on Unity.
No way.
It's what I'm reading it right now. It's a list of Unity engine games right on the wiki.
Let me check that.
Yeah.
Let me see that link.
Here, I'll put it in the link. I'll put it in the chat.
All right.
On the right side. There it is. List of Unity engine games. I mean, Wasteland 2 is a Unity game. And you're playing Wasteland 2.
Yeah, but okay, the difference between those Unity games and the ones I'm speaking of is Blizzard and I can't remember the creators of the Wasteland, but those guys, they probably put a fair amount of low-level coding into it and to the end towards the engine into making it their own. The ones I'm talking about are the guys who just basically take what do they call that? Other people's materials, textures and other stuff, dump it into their game, and just leave it as it is. And that way,
give it a new name and say here's a game, and it runs. It's cross-platform.
Yeah,
like
and
Rust was made on Unity apparently.
Yeah, like most of the cheaper Unity games, you can tell they're Unity right off the bat, and they all have the same Unity problems. They all look like Unity engine games, but
Okay.
But the better ones don't. It's the same with every engine now.
Well, Slender, The Arrival, Shadowrun Returns, Interstellar Marines. I've heard bad things about that game.
Yeah, as far as working.
There are just so many Unity games that I actually have a scroll bar in the game saves folder for Unity 3D.
Oh, wow. Actually, let me see if I have that folder in my home directory. Where would it be?
.config Unity 3D.
Yeah.
But let's see. The Thomas Was Alone that I mentioned. Guns of Icarus. Chuck's Challenge 3D. 99 Levels to Hell.
I just have Rust. Robocraft. Oh, Robocraft's a Unity game. Osiris.
That's a game made good though. I'm talking about. My focus is towards the people who made crap games. Like Unreal Tournament Engine is not an accessible engine for somebody who wants to scam people because it costs money. A lot of money.
Okay. All right.
The Unity engine is fairly inexpensive.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm just not familiar with the games that you've obviously experienced.
No, I haven't experienced them because I'm not paying for them.
Well, that you heard about, I should say. Yeah. All right. So that pretty much covers, God, why can I not remember the name of this game? Something Blaster.
Beat Blaster.
Beat Blaster. Thank you. So that wraps up the little segment about.
Oh, Beat Hazard.
Jeez, we're horrible. This is a horrible show.
These are horrible.
Who wants to watch this podcast? There's a bunch of goofballs that can't even remember. the name of a game that was told to him 1 minute ago.
When it goes on sale, I'm gonna buy it just because I want to play dubstep in it.
There you go.
Does it work with dubstep, Atomic?
Right.
It works with dubstep.
That's right. That's what I want to do.
Beat Hazard. All right. So
load up the Skrillex.
That wraps up that. Next, we have in our list here. We have a lot of topics to cover, and we're already 21 minutes into the show. So we'll just kind of nitpick at each one of these. I'll go first, I guess, since I added this one, and I'm really excited about it. Basically, the developers of Borderlands, the pre-sequel, have been very active in the Borderlands 2 Steam community forums and have already stated that they're going to have same-day release as Windows. Tell me that is not the greatest of all great news that you've ever heard for Linux gaming to date.
It's pretty damn good.
That's freaking awesome. I mean, this is the first time a AAA title is going to have same-day Linux support release. First time ever.
I think what we need to tell the people who watch this, what it means is it legitimizes Linux as a monetary platform, a platform for these businesses, because that's what they are first and foremost before they're game developers or anything else. These are businesses. It legitimizes Linux as a place to make money. That's what matters.
Right on, for sure. Basically, the developers have stated that simultaneously shipping Linux and Mac versions alongside of the Windows version has been a dream of theirs for years, and certainly a strong request from the gaming community. They can't say enough about how Gearbox and 2K came through as partners to make this happen. They can't wait for Linux gamers to get their hands on the Borderlands, the pre-sequel, on October 14th. And I've actually already pre-ordered it, and I've already got my Steam key, and I've already entered it into my Steam library. And, you know, it basically brought up a warning that said, this game is still locked. You know, you cannot download it until October 13th. So I don't know, maybe I'm getting it a day early, possibly. I'm not exactly sure. But I do want to inform all of my viewers that you can get it for 20% off and give full monetary support to the developers, which I'm not sure how to pronounce it properly. Aspire Media? Aspire. Okay, Aspire.
Like aspiring.
Aspire Media is the developer. Aspire Media is the developer. Gearbox and 2K are the publishers. So if you want to support Aspire Media, you know, 100%, you can buy the game off GameAgent.com. That's where I purchased it from, and it looks weird because it says that you're buying a Mac digital download key, and that's what it said for me. I got the email. It said, you know, this is a Mac digital download key for Steam. You know, I got all worried. I sent off a customer service email already and all this stuff, and they replied and actually told me, we're sorry that you purchased the wrong, you know, that you purchased an incorrect key. If you want to cancel this, let us know, because it's a pre-order. We can still cancel the order, and you can order the correct key. Well, after some communication, you know, with others on Twitter, it's basically a Steam key, and whenever you purchase a game and you get a Steam key, it pretty much means that you purchase the game for any platform that the game is developed for. So, for example, since I had already purchased Borderlands 2 for Windows, you know, and I had it in my Steam library, when they just released Borderlands 2 for Linux yesterday, or 2 days ago, whatever it was, it actually just automatically showed up in my library, and all I had to do was download it. So what I'm getting at is, you know, even though the key says it's a Mac Steam key, you know, I still entered it in Steam, and it still says it's going to work for Linux. So I just wanted to let everybody know if you want to support Aspire Media, go to GameAgent.com, and you'll receive the Shock Drop Slaughter Pit DLC pack for free, and you'll get 20% off the game right away. And you'll get your Steam key right away. So I just wanted to point that out to everybody that I'm super pumped about Borderlands, the pre-sequel. I don't know. You guys have both made comments that you're going to wait for a sale. I couldn't wait. I wanted to fully support a AAA Linux title with all the money, no sale. I wanted to just throw, I was throwing my money at the screen, So, I don't know.
Yeah. Like, I fully agree where you're coming from as far as supporting, especially in the position that we're in, where we're kind of fighting for every game title that we have, and we should definitely show the support that we have. It's just that, first of all, we still have a lot of content in Borderlands 2 to finish. We just got it yesterday.
Right. We just got it for Linux yesterday, right. No, I know, and it's still $50. I mean, even with the 20% off, it still cost me $50.68. So yeah, I can understand
for
some people. Yeah, I understand. I mean, that's fine. I mean, money's tight for everybody. The economy fucking sucks. And
the last time I paid full price for a game, and it was a hard copy. Check it out. That was the last game. Yeah. This is the last game that I paid for full price and bought a hard copy. And this came out in 2011, and still worth $59.99. Love that game.
It's still worth $60, you'd say?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I think so. Because it's
the DLC, it probably still is.
I don't even have the DLC. I just because of the mods. I can, and even without the mods, I played over. I think I'm at 100 hours. I think I played 50 or 60 of those hours vanilla, no mods, just because I just wanted to run around and be like a Nordic badass, because that's basically what you're doing. It's just fun. That's just one of the games that is universally fun. I don't see too many people who say they don't like the game. Some people may not prefer sandbox RPGs, but you can't say it's a bad game either.
Now, when you say sandbox RPG, is that like Borderlands, basically?
No. More traditional.
No? Okay, so there's not really a storyline?
No, there's a storyline. Traditional RPG, by that I mean more traditional RPG style stuff. Like you have massive amounts, a lot of attributes like your charisma and your like Dungeons and Dragons type stuff, but in a video game.
All right. So like The Witcher 2, have you played that or no?
That's an action RPG.
Jeez. Okay.
There's action RPGs. There's all kind of RPGs.
See, I'm coming from console gaming, where I've already told you guys this many times, and maybe I even told the show, but I was an Xbox 360 diehard Call of Duty player. That's all that I bought every year. I bought like one or two games. Last year it was Call of Duty and Crisis 3. 2 years ago. Then most recently it was Battlefield 4. So I came from a gaming console where games, you only purchase one or two a year, at least for me. Now switching into console or PC gaming, and there's shit coming from every which way at me for play me, and I like trying to play The Witcher 2. There's stuff I don't even know how to do in the game, like craft stuff, and yet it's in the game, but I don't know how to do it. So I'm still learning. I mean, man, PC gaming has just opened my eyes up to a whole new slew of games, and it's just insane on the pricing on them. I mean, it's amazing how affordable, like Borderlands 2, for example, even though it's 2 years old, as of September 2014, it would just turn 2. That game just came out for Linux, and it was only $4.99. it still might even be $4.99. The Game of the Year edition is $9.99. That is totally worth it. You know, if you're watching this podcast right now and you're a Linux gamer and you've never played Borderlands, you need to check out Borderlands 2 for Linux and give it a shot, especially at $5. You can't go wrong. I mean, the game is that, if you know, even if you're on, I'm seeing pretty good reports in the Steam community forums, whether you're running Intel or AMD, even though they say that they don't support Intel and AMD graphics cards, the Borderlands 2, people are still playing the game with, you know, Intel and AMD graphics cards.
I have a video up with it on Ultra, playing on my channel right now, and just like a lot of the games, there's some initial like stuttering, like it's trying to load all the textures or whatever it is, and it's smoothed out after a while. But yeah, you can play it on AMD. I can attest to that fact.
Okay, yeah, and I've even been considering booting my machine to the HD 4600 on my Intel chip and just playing the game with the default, you know, the default Ubuntu Intel driver and seeing, or even OABAF's PPA, and seeing what the performance is like, and then comparing it, or just doing a video, you know, saying, you know, does Borderlands 2 work on Intel HD 4600, and just, you know, do a video on that. I think that might get me some views on, you know, on YouTube, and it would just be, you know, helpful to other Linux gamers in general.
Yep, I agree. So what you're saying is you're a fan of Borderlands?
I am.
He cannot wait to visit Elf Piss.
Elf Piss. I'm trying to look. No, I must have sold it. But I had Borderlands. I want to say I bought Borderlands 1 for my Xbox 360, but I believe I ended up trading it in for Crysis 3 or Call of Duty Black Ops 2. I don't remember. I didn't buy. I didn't.
In that game.
Huh?
I put a lot of hours in Borderlands 1. I had like a couple levels, the max levels, and I was playing it on the second hardcore setting, the setting that you can get to after you beat it. After you, all that. That was a great game.
Well, that's pretty much what I wanted to cover as far as pre-ordering Borderlands, the pre-sequel. Like I said, guys, you can get the Shock Drop Slaughter Pit DLC pack for free, and customers that are also Game Agent members can log into their account to find a special note on Borderlands, the pre-sequel product page, that will grant them a special pre-order discount, which is, I believe, the 20% that I received, the 20% off. You know, so it's not $59.99. I ended up paying $49 something. Like I said, $50.68 US dollars after tax. That's how much it was for me. And I'm just, you know, I can't wait for the game to come out in 13 days.
Oh, it's that close? I didn't even realize it was that close.
Yeah, October 14th or October 13th.
Wow.
I know, it's right around the corner. So isn't that awesome that Aspire Media, you know, just released Borderlands 2 for Linux to basically get all the Linux gamers pumped up for Borderlands? I mean, you know that was planned. That had to be planned. I would say it was. Yeah.
Because I remember the days when us Linux people would say, if we could only get games on our platform, then it'll be the year of the Linux. Well, guess what, people? There is no reason not to use Linux nowadays, because I don't want to go on a long spiel about it, but part of the reason I use Linux is not just because I think it's better for me, but because there should be options, there should be competition, there should be and the PC platform is an open platform, and there is nothing that is more definitive of open than Linux. So there's no reason not to use it.
Yep. All right, well, that pretty much covers the topic that I wanted to cover as far as Borderlands, the pre-sequel, getting that pre-order in, guys. Go for it. Awesome game. You won't regret it. And just based on the Borderlands 2 port that that they've done, Aspire Media has done, I would say that there's not this. I don't know. Me personally, as a Linux gamer, the experiences that I've had with, say, Painkiller, Hell and Damnation, the other one, Deadfall, Adventures, whatever. A couple of games I've purchased, there's little graphical bugs, little issues with the game, and it's like, hell, I've spent $40 on this game. I paid full price, and I can't even get it to work, or the performance isn't really that good. Well, I'm here to tell you that you can wash away those concerns with Borderlands the pre-sequel on Linux, because Borderlands 2 runs beautifully in Linux. For an NVIDIA user, anyway, I'll say that with certainty. If you're an NVIDIA owner of a GPU NVIDIA, I have a GTX 760, but I'm seeing people post about 8800 GTs. Look at how old that graphics card is, a GeForce 8800 GT, and they're posting in the Steam forums that the game is running for them, and it's playable. So,
as a side note, the two games that you mentioned, I believe were UT Unreal Engine games, and Unreal Engine they have a known issue, especially with shaders and stuff. And
yeah, I know.
So moving forward, hopefully the new game engines like Unreal Engine, what is it? 4?
4, yeah. 4. Unreal Engine 4 is the newest one.
Yeah. And then there's a new Unity, I believe, coming out, and some other, you got the Crytek engine, et cetera, et cetera. Hopefully, moving forward, there will be better support for Linux, and we don't have those nagging issues. But let's just be honest, PC gaming in general is a platform where you could very possibly run into issues, because I have games that don't run very well in Windows either.
Okay, sure. Well, apparently Borderlands 2 runs on the Unreal Engine 3, cel-shaded modified. So what's up with that? Why does Borderlands 2? Why did Aspire Media do so well with this Linux port?
I believe
companies like Farm 51 did a crap job on Painkiller, Hell and Damnation, and Deadfall: The Adventures.
Because I believe Painkiller is using a vanilla Unreal Engine. And Borderlands, the size and the scope of it leads me to believe that it's probably a very heavily modified engine.
Okay.
And then not only that, Aspire Media, they're just great porters and developers and coders.
Right. Yeah. That is one last thing I kind of wanted to touch on about Aspire Media. If you look at their vast library of Mac ports, I mean, I'm seeing games like Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare. I'm seeing games like Black Ops 2, Bioshock, Modern Warfare 2, Sims 2, Modern Warfare 3, Guitar Hero 3, Tomb Raider 2, Civilization 5, Civilization 4, Star Wars games, Quake 4. All these games have been ported by Aspire Media, so I don't know if that's any indication of what their next few Linux ports will be, but maybe that's a little bit of an indication of what's coming. Maybe some Bioshock.
Yes, now that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. I think you get Bioshock Infinite on Linux the same way it is, or similar to the way it is on Windows. GG, game over.
Right? Yeah. I know Bioshock. Yeah, I live streamed Bioshock Infinite on my Hitbox. I'm not even. I think I did finish the game on the live stream, and that was a fun game. I still got to I got to get the DLCs though and finish that up, I believe. But okay, so that pretty much covers what I want to talk about as far as Borderlands the pre-sequel and Aspire Media. So we can move along to the next topic. Which would be, we can go to Atomic. We'll go to, you go ahead, spit out your topic number 1, yeah.
Okay, so Deponia was a three-part, well, is a three-part uh, point-and-click adventure game, and it came out as three separate games that you would purchase, each building on the previous one, and a couple of odd things happened. It was only for Windows when I purchased it, but I had seen the first games, and I really wanted to play the series, so I just went ahead and got it. The article I linked to says that a different game called Deponia: The Complete Journey packages these three separate games as a single game, and that it is available for Linux. And this article is from July 9th. Well,
Wow.
just recently, Deponia, the first game in the series that was only supposed to be for Windows, showed up in my Steam Linux client, just the way the Borderlands 2 did.
Okay.
You know, you go to install it and it doesn't install any files, but it's there.
Okay.
Which tells me that they're going to drop a Linux version for it, and I just find it odd. It's unexpected.
That's the weird thing about Linux, because there's been several times where I opened up Steam like, wow, I didn't know that game was over here. it just kind of automatically appears over here. So it's a thing. I like it.
So, I guess to clarify here, Atomic, because I'm kind of confused, you said the Deponia trilogy has been released for Linux? Or not? I mean, I guess I'm confused.
The Complete Journey is the trilogy of games in a single game, and when it was released for Linux, but you had to buy it, even if you already own the Deponia games.
Okay.
But the first game in the trilogy, separately from this Complete Journey game, which was previously only available for Windows, just showed up in my client.
Oh, okay. I see what you're getting at now. Wow, that is kind of weird. Huh.
This game kind of looks like Penny Arcade, like styling.
Yeah, it says it's a point-and-click adventure game.
And isn't that what Penny Arcade games are? Like a point-and-click type deal?
No, it's a webcomic.
Okay, I'm stupid.
This is a web comic. Okay.
Yeah, I've never actually played Penny Arcade. I just keep hearing a lot about it. And that's what, for people who don't know, that's what PAX is like based off of. Penny Arcade.
Yeah.
Expo.
Now they
that's
did
what
have,
it stands for. Yeah, Penny Arcade Expo. Yep.
They did have a series of video games. There was 4 installments called On the Rain-Slick Precipice of Darkness.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know about that. Awesome. I might have to check this out. According to the article, it's available right now on Steam. Oh Lord, that's a steep price. Is it that good? Is it worth $39.99?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's a pretty large asking price for an indie game.
Yeah. The developer or the writer of the article says that he played the trilogy through Wine. So apparently, they work in Wine. I don't know if you're. I don't think I'm into, kind of comic book type games. Personally, point and click adventure, comic book.
If it's a good story, I'm into it. I really value story But for $39.99, it better be a very damn good story.
Right. Did you see Atomic's got some barking dogs, guys, so he had to muted his mic for us for a moment here. So that was pretty much it. He just wanted to cover the Deponia, the complete journey, and its release for Linux. Next, we will talk about. Well, actually, it's Osiris. Why don't you talk about the AMD releasing Catalyst 14.9 drivers this week?
Yes.
Since you're the one that you're the only one that runs an AMD card out of all three of us.
I will talk about that. I will talk a lot. So, AMD released the 14.9. Let me preface that a little bit. I have been advocating, complaining, bitching, moaning, and crying on Twitter to AMD about the driver support that is on Linux at the moment. To the point, I'm pretty sure I'm annoying a couple people. And so AMD Roy on Twitter assured me that there would be fixes and progression in the Linux driver. So 14.9 comes out. Of course, I instantly loaded up. I actually went through a pretty detailed battery of tests between Windows 8 and Linux. I'm using Linux Mint 17 based on Ubuntu 14.04, and the performance is still not there. But then again, I really didn't expect the performance to still be there. Like that probably is going to require a lot more time and possibly a rewrite of the driver stack. But there was a major improvement in the micro stuttering that's on Linux, which was a huge issue for me, to the point that it rendered some games like Team Fortress 2 unusable. I couldn't even play Team Fortress 2 because of the micro stuttering that was on AMD Catalyst drivers. But I
can't even imagine.
Yeah, it's terrible. I came from 14.6 beta drivers, so if there's any AMD users out there, go ahead, get the 14.9 drivers. I can assure you that it's definitely an improvement. But if I'm guessing that if you're on a 260-ish or 270 GPU, that because of the lack of performance, it's not going to fix that low frame rate issue. It fixed the micro stuttering issue for sure, and the smoothness. Most of our games now actually play smooth. But if you're on a low-end AMD GPU, I don't know if it's going to make games playable again for you. Like, for me, the 290X just overpowers low frame rates, which is it's a shame, really. But as a self-promotion, I am advocating and promoting hashtag Linux Red Team on Twitter. So tweet that shit down.
Nice.
Let them people know that I feel like AMD and Linux, the ideologies go hand in hand. So let them people know that we want our drivers to be right, just like they are on Windows. Because don't forget, AMD had a problem with drivers on Windows not too long ago.
Right. Yeah. And now it's kind of switched a little bit. I think
Yeah.
On the Windows side, I think a lot of people are, touting the Catalyst drivers over the NVIDIA drivers.
Very true. Very true.
I know AMD's got a huge, they have a lot of, I guess, interaction with the community. You just look on Twitter about AMD Team Red, and you see a lot of people in the community that openly support AMD, and help others with AMD issues or, promote their products and stuff. I mean, they've been really pushing. I mean, they actually crashed the party. I never followed up and looked into this, but AMD was actually telling their own supporters to show up to NVIDIA Game 24.
They were
with
saying that, but nothing
AMD
happened.
red shirts on and stuff. Oh, really? Nothing big happened?
I didn't see nothing big happen. I kind of watched it.
Yeah, I mean, that's good. because I was hoping, I thought it was kind of a low down, dirty tactic personally. You know, it's not like NVIDIA people were crashing. I mean, I don't know the feuds between AMD.
I think it's all fun and
fanboys.
games though, for the actual AMD people and NVIDIA people. Now you know, of course, you always have the fanboys like you was about to say, and the assholes. But I
Yeah,
think
they take it too far and stuff,
yeah,
right?
I think from AMD's point of view, it was just all fun and games, and they've done it to each other previously in the past.
That's what Paul said to me, or somebody had said that to me, that it's kind of just a friendly kind of thing. And, you know, from what you said, you watched Game 24 for a little bit on the live stream, and
Yeah,
you didn't really see anything major happen. So, you know, I'm glad. I mean, if AMD represented a little bit there, you know, and they did it respectfully, I think that's, you know, it just kind of adds to the competition, you know. So I think that's cool. So you can see down here at the list, I'm sharing the screen with the latest Catalyst driver changes. One of the things you see right away is Witcher 2 random lockup seen when launching the application. They fixed that. Some other screen corruption when connecting an external monitor. You know, so this is a pretty significant update for the Catalyst driver, which has fixed, you know, quite a bit of issues. But as you can see down here, there's still some unresolved known issues. One is horizontal flashing lines on a second screen in a clone mode with VSync on when using the AMD mobility graphics with switchable Intel graphics. Oh my gosh, that's a
like
long
who the fuck
sentence.
does that?
Right? And then,
I
Yeah,
got
go
lost there. What was even going on?
Yeah, well, how do you use AMD mobility graphics with Intel graphics? That means you have a laptop with AMD graphics. Where
Right,
the hell do you
and
get the
it's also
Intel graphics from?
well, because it's in your chip. It's in your Intel chip. You know, like the HD 4670.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Any one
Okay.
of the Intel chips that have the built-in.
Yeah, okay, I
driver.
get it.
Yep.
I've heard of those, but I assume they were like pink unicorns.
No, you hear the same issue from the NVIDIA side. You know, having the NVIDIA users that have a NVIDIA GPU in their laptop, and they also have the Intel, so they have to run that special Primus driver or whatever it is. You know,
No, I
because,
meant the Intel with the AMD dedicated graphics. That's like
That's
a
what I'm-
unicorn.
right, and I'm saying the
It doesn't
same
exist.
issue sometimes. Well, apparently it does, because there's a known issue with flashing horizontal lines.
I've never seen a laptop with it.
I don't use laptops. Let me tell you about this. The 14.9 drivers. So a guy, oh man, I didn't plan on talking about him, but I know on Twitter his name is @Thrax, like THRACKS. Apparently he is a employee at AMD who asked me to email him my findings. So I spent about a day and a half benchmarking Windows 8 and Linux Mint 17 based on Ubuntu 14.04.
Oh,
and
nice.
I sent him all those results, which are publicly available on my Google Drive. So if you want those, just tweet me and I'll send you those. And I will be doing a video on those soon enough. And let him know. And like you said, yes, on the social media sites, they are very much interactive. I am completely surprised that several people from AMD has actually reached out to me and asked me for my findings, asked me for my results and see what's going on. So hopefully they're getting that worked out, and AMD fanboys or whatever you want to call them can enjoy their games again, because to me this is completely unacceptable. I had a GTX 660 NVIDIA, and I'm not a fanboy of either side. I'm a fanboy of whoever gives me the best performance and experience for the money.
Yep.
But
and to those, I don't know if all the viewers know, you got your R9 290X by winning it from Asus Rogue, right?
yes, I did. I run my card from the Facebook page of Republic of Gamers Asus.
Yeah.
It's a 290X. And what that means for me though is that the low performance, this card just powers through the lower performance. Before, if I actually bought a card and it wasn't AMD, it'd probably been like a 280X. And I can't say that I would get the same experience with the 280X because of the low performance. I'm only getting 100 frames per second, where on Windows I would get 300 frames per second.
Yeah, I mean, you and I and Atomic were in Gary's mod the other day, or was it Fistful of Frags? I don't remember. One of the source games, and you were only getting 180 frames per second. And Atomic's got his 750 Ti, and he was maxing it out at 300, and me with my GTX 760 was maxing it out at 300 as well. So that just kind of is like that's got to be a
slap in the face.
Like total slap in the face.
It pisses me off.
You have the most powerful single GPU, and you're getting 180 frames per second. Like half. I mean, the frames per second doesn't even really matter. I guess it's just the the overall performance just is not.
Let's put it in perspective for regular people. It is a $630 video card.
Right.
There should be no issues about performance when you put a 600. No, that's more than most HPs and compacts and Dells that people buy. There should be no issue. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying to AMD. When somebody purchases a $600 video card, which is supposed to be compliant under all the rules and regulations of what GPUs are supposed to be, you should be able to slap it on Linux or Windows or possibly even OS X. Because a friend of mine, Techie Rod, had to actually purchase new parts for even OS X. So it's not a Linux thing. It's not just a Linux thing. Right, it's because Windows is just so freaking dominant that everybody automatically just builds for Windows. But that's not the case. We have millions of users in Linux.
Yeah. And then kind of just rounding off this topic with the 14.9 Catalyst drivers, I do want to point out, some of our viewers might be the open source advocates, and they don't maybe believe in the proprietary closed source drivers, which the Catalyst is. So I do want to make a comment on the open source Radeon driver, but a more updated one, the one that comes with Ubuntu 14.04 by default, it's the open source Radeon driver. But if you want to get better performance, you can actually, and you're in Ubuntu, you can actually enable a PPA. It's by OABAF. It's spelled OIBAF. Just Google OABAF PPA, and you can install a later Radeon SI driver, and it actually provides much better open source Radeon drivers than the default Ubuntu ones.
No. Yeah, the default Ubuntu ones is better than, but the proprietary drivers perform better. The experience is better in the Mesa open source drivers.
Right. I mean, I just wanted to point out that if you're not a supporter of closed source proprietary software or drivers, and you're only a FOSS person, free open source software, that the Radeon SI driver, if you're running an Ubuntu-based distro, you can install it from the OABAF PPA, which has like the latest Mesa from Git and latest Intel drivers. It's got like high performance open source graphics drivers in the OABAF PPA. And I'm seeing people comment in the Borderlands 2 Steam community forum that they're getting acceptable performance using the open source AMD drivers with Borderlands 2. So I just wanted to point that out. That's all.
Yeah, that's true. I thought you were saying something else. But the reason I won't use the open source drivers is because I don't care about Linux's philosophical battles.
Sure, right.
And when you buy a video card, you expect it to perform what they advertised it for, which usually means running the proprietary or closed source drivers. I just want them to get their stuff together And which is one more time, I'm gonna shamelessly say, hashtag Linux Red Team, so they can get the stuff together because it's ridiculous. This is not a recent thing. This is years that this has been going on.
Right.
So hopefully they get the shit together.
Well, and actually, we could go into a whole nother topic about AMD and their closed source driver and their open source driver and how they're possibly going to be merging it into a unified driver. I don't know if you've read about this yet, Osiris.
No, that's news to me.
The articles on Pharonics website or Pharonics website. I'll link you to it. We can talk about that next week possibly, but that's pretty big news as well.
Yeah, that's huge news.
So moving on to the next topic, was it you, Atomic, that put in the? You wanted to just touch on the use list software, or I should say, Damon.
Useless
Yeah.
SD.
I've heard a lot of bad stuff about systemd, and looking at what it does, it doesn't jive with the Unix philosophy. Do one thing and do it well, for one thing, because it's like a cancer that's spreading into every subsystem in Linux.
Systemd is, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just about every desktop now pulls in systemd as a dependency.
Yeah, that is true. Even Ubuntu has systemd stuff in it, even though they don't officially support it. From what I understand.
Yep.
And uselessd is intended to be a replacement for some of the functions of systemd and just kind of breaking it up a little bit.
Yeah, I read the article. I don't know if I read the article you linked to about uselessd, but basically uselessd is like a forked version of systemd, and it removes a bunch of stuff that comes in normal systemd because they think it's worthless stuff, like udev and a couple other things. Let me see if that's what you put, if you link to that same article I was reading. Yeah, it basically, they remove like journaled, they remove live udev, they remove udevd, and superfluous unit types. So, uselessd is a new project, and it's basically people trying to, boycott, systemd, and who knows how successful they'll be on that.
Very
Because,
quickly,
like you guys said, systemd is, it's everywhere.
very quickly, my thoughts on that whole thing is, and I've said this before, when it comes to the Linux subsystems, they need to get the shit right one time. If some people want to go out there and do their own thing, of course you can, because it's Linux and it's freedom, and you can do what the hell you want to. But the main characters of this story need to get it right and get it right one time, so that commercial software and open source software at the same time can build towards a single working subsystem. Period.
Right. I totally agree with you.
So hopefully they get that together. I don't know about useless SD. I don't really care, because if it doesn't work, you're going to see me on Twitter bitching about it, because I'm going to say it doesn't work.
Yep. Well, I know you run Arch Linux, right, Atomic?
Yeah.
And Arch uses systemd much more than Ubuntu, doesn't it?
It uses it, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know whether it's more or less.
It's more.
Well, I think it's more, because remember, we were looking for your SSHD logs, which in Ubuntu or Debian based, it's usually in varlog auth.log, and for you it was like stored in journal log or something, wasn't it? Or I mean, I don't even know. We couldn't find it.
It's not even like that. The journals are in binary format. You reminded me of this point, which is the worst thing that I've found thus far about System D. It keeps a lot of the system logs in a binary format that you access through executable tools.
Which is just retarded. It's a log file. You know what I mean? It's a log file. It's just supposed to tell you information that you want quickly at your fingertips to troubleshoot something, and they put it in a binary format? What in the hell? Why? I don't even. That doesn't even make sense to me.
Just like Windows.
Yeah, exactly.
Try reading a blue screen output.
Yeah. Osiris, I linked that Fairnix article about the unified AMD driver if you want to check that out sometime.
Okay, appreciate it.
Yep. But let's see, we got maybe a time for one more topic. Let's see here.
We got.
Who put the article about Rust?
I did.
All right. Go ahead and cover Rust for Linux.
All right. Well, if you're anything like us,
because we've actually been playing this lately.
We've been cracking out on Rust. Yes.
Yep.
And
so it is available for Linux. Yep.
Yes. So, according to the tweet and GamingOnLinux.com, the main trunk or the legacy version, which we have been playing, has not been updated in 6 months, which I kind of knew that. But on Windows, it is now the what do you call it? The experimental version is now the main supported version. So if you're playing Rust and you're playing it on Legacy, you might want to move over to experimental version if you want that. What do you call it? As my friend says, premium experience. Yeah, so I know there's probably quite a few people on Linux who are playing a little bit of Rust. It's a pretty well supported. It gets plenty of updates, and you might want to move over to the experimental version. It's not so experimental anymore.
All right. I know.
Oh, and a side note, Linux is not using the experimental version as its main chunk version yet. I'm not quite sure what that means, because I'm pretty sure that the Linux and the Windows versions get the exact same updates, as far as because you can play with each other. They have to be getting the same updates. So that's just what the article says. I don't know what that means.
Wait, what? What did you say? Sorry, I missed it.
It says the Linux version is not using the experimental branch by default yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah. If you want to play the experimental, right, when you launch Rust in Linux, Steam, there's a little black box and you have a dialog selection to choose either you want to play Rust or experimental Rust. So, you tried out the experimental version, right? Do you have anything to say about it?
Yeah, it's light years better. it's just better. Like
graphics are definitely better, but the game isn't. I didn't play it long enough, so I guess I can't comment on. I
played a couple of hours.
Is it playable?
Yeah, it's playable. It's definitely playable.
All right.
I mean, you got to remember that even Legacy Rust is extremely beta. I wouldn't call it alpha like they say it is anymore. I say it's beta. I would think that the experimental version is just a few steps behind the legacy version.
Okay, yeah. So if you're into a survival type game where you have to survive against nature as well as other players, so PvP, check out Rust for Linux. Personally, man, this is going to be a tough decision. Right now, I think on Steam it's $19.99, and personally, after playing the game, I would say it's worth $20. Only because I have had plenty of hours of enjoyment playing with Osiris, playing with Techie Rod, and we have had some fun times. Now, it's also, at the same rate, very, very frustrating when you're playing on a PvP server and you get murdered by a guy with a shotgun who asks you what your favorite color is, and you answer green, and he said you should have said purple, and he shoots you in the head. So I guess I'll point that out.
But
there are servers that are no PvP, meaning you can't kill other players. PvP means player versus player. So there are other players in the game, but they can't hurt you. So, there's modded servers, there's community servers, and there's regular, just regular Rust servers. So I would say it's worth $20. If you're into survival type games, I would say it's worth it. That's just my opinion.
But I will say, from watching their Twitter feed, I believe it's at Rust Updates, that they are on the experimental branch now, really combating the cheating, the hacking, and that type of stuff. Now, the people who just want to go out and grief you and be complete dickheads, you can't stop those people.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. We ran into hackers on no PvP servers that could just fly around and run super fast, and we ran into hackers on PvP servers where they can shoot you through walls. So, you're going to run into hackers, douchebags that just want to ruin other people's gaming experience because they have fun doing that. And to me, I think that's just, I don't really understand the enjoyment of ruining other people's time, but whatever, that's, a whole philosophical, argument for another time.
As a quick side note, I've been corrected, which doesn't usually happen, but I'm going to acknowledge this one. So I was talking about earlier how that the reason that there's so many garbage games from Unity because it's easily accessible and it's cheap. Well, Vin pointed out that the Unreal Engine 4 is only $19 per month and 5% and open source. So it's open source. It's $19 per month, so it's not expensive, but it's just a much better engine. But that's a new thing. Historically speaking, Unity makes garbage games because there's so many people that can access the Unity engine at a lower level. So I can't program, but I can make a Unity game probably within 3 months, we'll say, and then put it out there and say, hey guys, if you promote this, I'll give you Linux support, and then only if you give me extra money. So I have to hit my intended goal of $20,000. But if you give me $50,000, I'll support Linux, which doesn't mean I support Linux. It just means I hit that export button on Linux, and if it don't work, well, fuck you, I'm out.
Yeah. All right.
Just wanted to say that because he did correct me on that.
So if you were to make a game in Unity in 3 months, would it look like Crayon Physics Deluxe?
Crayon Physics Deluxe.
Now I have to look it up. Crown Physics Deluxe. I didn't even think it was a real thing.
All right, guys. Hopefully we got some viewers in here that are interested in Borderlands 2 for PC, baby. I'm giving away a copy of Borderlands 2 for PC. It'll be a Steam key, so you'll be able to, if you're a Steam user, you'll be able to have it for Linux, for Windows, or for Mac if it's available for Mac. I'm not sure. So, is everybody excited in the chat? Let me see your comments about how excited you are for Borderlands 2 on PC.
We all know you are.
Now we gotta wait a little bit because of the damn delay. It says there's 6 people watching, but I'm one of the windows. I'm sure you're one of the windows, and probably Atomic. So we have 3 viewers.
I think we peaked at 8 or 9.
This is tough to get viewers, man. Our podcast, we're on episode 8. No, sorry, 7. So we've been doing it for 7 weeks now. Well, 1 week we skipped.
It's all good.
But yeah, it is. It's all good. I mean, I'm enjoying what we're doing, so we're going to continue doing the Linux Tech and Gaming podcast. So, still haven't seen any comments related to Borderlands 2 for PC yet. We lost a viewer. All right. Well, we have. I wish there's no way in YouTube to show the viewers' names, right?
Not that I'm aware of.
All right. So it looks like we have the Lonely Invaders and Techie Rod are the only two that I'm seeing in the comments. So I'm gonna pick a number from 1 to 10 or 0 to 10, and
Wait.
what?
Okay, never mind. It doesn't matter.
I'm gonna pick a number from 0 to 10. Whoever gets the number correctly in the comments gets the game.
You didn't tell them
All
what
right.
the game was. Oh, did you?
Borderlands 2. Yeah, I did. I was super excited about it. All right. All right, guys. A number from 0 to 10. Choose a number. First to write that number wins. Go. Go, go. All right, guys. Number, I'm putting it in the chat over here. It's on the right side. Yes, Borderlands 2 is for Linux.
Hell yeah, it's for Linux. Better go watch my channel if you didn't know.
Oh,
And
Techie
it's
Rod.
Techie Rod's wild.
We have a winner.
Wow, he hit it on the
Techie
spot.
Rod wins.
How did that happen? Oh, it was between 1 and 10?
Yep.
Okay.
All right, Techie Rod wins Borderlands 2. Congrats,
Sweet.
Techie Rod. You're already my friend on Steam, so it'll be easy to send you the game. All right, well, that pretty much wraps up episode 7 of the Linux Tech and Gaming Podcast. I need to get working on thumbnails for our show, and possibly if we're going to change the title.
Yeah, that was weird because every time I go to your channel, I see my face on your channel. It was like weird.
Yeah, I know.
What is going on
Yeah,
here?
I know. So, as usual, everybody kind of gives a little plug to their YouTube, their Twitter, their social media presence. I'm at Ubuntu Addicted on Twitter. I have a Facebook, a Google Plus, a Hitbox, a Twitch. You can pretty much find me as Ubuntu Addicted everywhere. Links are down below in the description if you want to follow me on any of those particular social media sites. And, I look forward to doing this weekly. I mean, I have fun doing the show, so we're going to keep doing it, no matter what, whether viewers come or not, we're going to do it because I'm having fun and I enjoy it. So hopefully you guys enjoy it as well. Hopefully be able to do giveaways possibly more often and stuff like that. I was just so excited for Borderlands 2 being released for Linux that, I had to give a copy away to a lucky viewer. So that's really about all I got for me. Go ahead, Atomic, or Osiris, whoever.
Well, yeah, you can find me on YouTube or on Twitter, and both of those links are in the description.
All right, the links are down there, but go to Twitter if you want to talk to me. The easiest and fastest way, go to Twitter at Osiris, OSIREZ, and hashtag Linux Red Team. Linux Red Team hashtag, so we can get these drivers fixed, and I don't have to have this expensive GPU doing what a $100 GPU does at the moment. We're going to make this a thing. I don't care what they say. It's going to be a thing. Or I'm coming to somebody's house.
Well,
All right.
on that note, I am going to be going 4K gaming by the end of the year.
What?
And whoever
Wow.
delivers first, either AMD or NVIDIA, they'll get my business.
Wow.
By the end of the year?
Atomic? Wow, you got 2 months to go 4K gaming in Linux.
There will be no new
Holy
AMD
shit.
cards by the end of the year.
I
you
have
must,
3 months.
So you must be doing NVIDIA.
Wait, why? Why? AMD can't do 4K right now? Yeah, I can.
There will be no new cards by the end of the year. The 980 is just basically
Oh,
better than most of the AMD cards out there.
Well, there's not
You
going
don't
to
think
be
they'll bring the
NVIDIA
390
cards. I
out?
mean, what's your point?
He said he's
it's-
going with the best card. He said he's going the card with the best card is going to get his money by the end of the year.
Oh, I see what you're saying now. Yeah, I got you. I got you.
The best
Yeah.
card right now is the 980 because
Is-
AMD hasn't released any new cards yet.
Right, true. I see what
You
you're
don't
saying
think
now.
they'll release the 390 before the end of the year?
No, actually,
No. Quarter
I don't
one,
think so.
guarantee.
Oh.
Let's see, AMD 390X early next year is what I'm seeing. Yeah,
I
early
guarantee.
next year.
From everything I'm seeing, I guarantee you it's going to be early next year. And then when they do that, NVIDIA's going to release the TI.
980 Ti or the
Yeah.
980 Titan or whatever the new Maxwell Titan is for $1,000.
They'll probably release the TI first, the TI. I don't know why I call it TI.
I don't know. They did the Titan before the 780 Ti, didn't they?
I think
Yeah, yeah, they did, but I don't even see those as being like the Titan is not the fastest GPU, and they didn't never market it as the fastest GPU. It's just the biggest, most best GPU you could say. The TI is definitely its flagship gaming card. Titan is not in that running.
Yeah. All right.
So
Well, cool. So thanks for everybody coming to the show. I appreciate it. That's about all we got for today. So until next time, I'll smell you when I smell you. No, that's what I say at the end of my YouTube videos. That's not for the show. All right, guys. We'll see you next week, Wednesday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here. We're doing it again, the Linux Tech and Gaming Podcast. We'll see you next week. Later, guys.
Hola.